Another technique that I think can be really engaging for students is if you can get them working together, collaborating on a project. For this example, I'm going to show you how two cloud-based apps, Noteflight, which is a cloud-based notation app, and Soundtrap, which is a cloud-based DAW, can work together for students to collaborate on a project. Now, if you don't have Noteflight or Soundtrap, both of these are now offering free access for teachers and students who have been impacted by this quarantine that's going on. So I'll put the links up here in the video that you can see, but it's pretty easy. It's noteflight.com and soundtrap.com to get to those websites if you're interested. So for this is actually a assignment I created in Noteflight that's a composition assignment. And if you're interested in seeing the actual composition part of the assignment, again, I'll put a link up here that you can see, or either in the notes for the program that you can go to visit the assignment. But for this assignment, the student starts off by composing a duet. So when they first get this assignment, the score for flute and clarinet is blank. It could be for any two instruments. And the students come in, and there are some instructions that go with this to create a duet that they write for themselves and a friend. Now, keep in mind with your classes, some students may have a very easy time finding someone to partner with. Other students may not. So you may want to get involved to help make sure that everyone has a partner that they can work with. Sometimes that's teacher assigned. Sometimes it works when students team up themselves, but you should know your students know the best way to go about that for them. Once they finish this composition assignment, one of the things that's really cool is if you go up here, you'll see this cloud pointing down. That's the export. If it's not there, if you click over here on this control button, you'll see where you can find that under score, export, and because I have this checked, it shows up here too. So if I click on this export button, you'll see a list of different ways I can export, but here it says open in Soundtrap. So if I select that and then click continue, it's going to take the score, which is all just MIDI data, and it's going to transfer it directly into Soundtrap. So you don't have to like download the MIDI in Noteflight and then upload it into Soundtrap. It'll actually take it directly to Soundtrap, which is really, really cool. Now, in addition to the flute and the clarinet parts, it's also bringing in the piano part that was added too. So you could add this to your instructions. To get rid of that, you can delete those tracks because they don't need it. And then the next thing they're going to do is invite a collaborator in. So this is a collaboration window, and you just click on invite. And in this case, I have my son who is enrolled in a student account. So I can use as a demo. When I type his first name in, it pops up. The thing about this is that when you create these classes, it is a walled garden situation, so your students can't get access to anyone outside of their class, and no one can get access to them, which is important. So I put his name in and I invite, and you'll see on the screen that I've shared over with him that he will get a message that he's been invited into a project. And then when he gets his invitation on his end, he's going to respond to that, and we can start working together. So you can see here it's shown up that he's got an invitation, so he can accept this invitation. And then the project is going to open in his window as well. So we're going to get started. So if I come over to my window and type in a message, are you ready to get started? It's going to show up over on his side. And then he can type a response also back to me. I'm going to add a drum loop. And so he can then come over and go into the loop library. And I've already got some selected, but they can click on beats or drums, and they can browse through to find something that they like. So he can add this drum loop over here, And it's going to sound like this with the duet. So if he likes that, then on his screen, he's going to click save, and then I'll get a notification on the other screen that changes were made. And so I'm going to click the sync button, and I'll see the changes that he made, and I can listen to it over here. So then the other student might respond, cool. I'm going to add 1, 2. So maybe they can add a loop for the next phrase. And again, I think I've got some, I won't make it too complicated. Click on this and drag it over here and drop it in. Let's see if I like it. So if I do, then I can click save on my side, and then William is going to get a notification that changes have been made so he can sync on his end. And they can go back and forth, and they can make changes if they want to. Let me, in the last measure. And so he might go back to the loops and maybe check fill beats, and we'll listen to this one. And then he can grab this, drag it in and drop it. And then instead of looping it, we can bring this down. And if he likes it, he can save, and then it'll again show up on the other side, and we can sync. So once they get working on their arrangement, then they can also go in and record. So to do this, they're going to add a track, a voice or microphone, then they'll have a mic that they'll use. Now the thing that's important with this when they record is that they use headphones. So as they're using headphones, they'll be able to hear the music, but the microphone is not going to pick up the output from the computer. So they put their headphones on, and then take what we call the playhead, which is this little arrow at the beginning, activate, and then when they activate the record button here, it's going to ask them, and they're going to make sure that they're using headphones. So once they have all that set, all they have to do is click on the record button, record here, they'll get a count off, and they'll start their playing. Again, if the headphone's on, they're going to hear the recording in their ears as they're playing, but the microphone is only going to pick up what they're playing back, and they would play to the end and then click the stop button. And the microphone right now just picked up my voice, but for them, hopefully they'll be playing their instrument. So again, when they finish recording, they can click save, and then once they click save back on William's computer, he's going to get a notification that they've made changes. So he's going to sync, and he'll see the recording over here. And they don't have to do this back and forth. They can do this on their own, but they can then add their own track that they can record to. And they're going to activate their record button. They're going to turn monitoring off. So again, they're going to want to be using headphones. Now, they can mute any of the tracks that they want to mute. But then they're going to come back, and then William's going to record his track. So he'll hit record. He'll get a count off. And then he'll start the performance. And then he would obviously play to the end, and then when he was finished, he would save. And then back over on the other computer, they get a notice that changes have been made, and then you sync again. And so between the two of them, they can record these tracks of them playing a duet together. So the other part about this that is pretty cool is that even back from Noteflight, if you are using Google Classroom, Noteflight does integrate with Google Classroom. So you can send this out as a Google Classroom assignment. You also have the option that you can send this out as a link. The thing that's great about Noteflight and Soundtrap both is there are tons and tons of tutorials that are built in, as well as having some really wonderful blogs and help desks that you can always send questions into. So again, I think this is a great way to engage students when you have them working together, and it's something that can be a lot of fun for them. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you liked the video and you thought it was helpful, please let your colleagues know about this, share, pass it along, and I really appreciate it if you'll take a time to hit that subscribe button. I hope all of you stay well. I hope you stay safe. Make sure you keep your distance, but remember, a smile will go a long way. This has been Heath with the Music Technology Teacher Network.
Music, technology, music, technology, music, music, technology, teacher, music, technology, teacher, network, teacher, network, teacher, network. Music, technology, teacher, network, music, technology, teacher, network, teacher, network, music, technology, teacher, network, music, technology, teacher, network, teacher, network.